Hey guys, it's Old Man G here, and Merry Christmas, Watford. Merry Christmas, Watford is really, it's the only thing I can really say because um, Manchester United have been feeling like Santa Claus and have essentially gifted Watford early this year. Watford were low on their luck, bottom of the table, and United. Um, Felt that they wanted to spread Christmas cheer by giving Watford FC a precious 3 points to kickstart their season. Because that's the only way I can describe the performance that I saw in front of me. Um, I can't really explain what I've just seen, to be honest. I'm I'm not like other United fans. I did not think that this was going to be an easy game because of Nigel Peterson, because of the effect, because of how the Liverpool game in particular and how he's basically played. I thought this was going to be, but um, to gift Watford FC the goals that we gave in the terrible mistake by David De Gea. Awful. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was an awful, horrendous mistake by David De Gea. And I'm not going to lie, he made several of those mistakes towards the end of last season, which cost us the top four. But also, well, Wan-Bissaka, to be honest, Wan-Bissaka um, giving the penalty away was not great, and especially so quick after something. But this is what I'm saying about this Manchester side is that we go a goal down, and instead of actually getting some composure, this team has no composure. Sorry, you know what? Let me go back because I'm just ranting now. So I just want to go in and just analyze the game. Before we go into it, for those of you still watching, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, we United X, for the latest United news. While I just crack on with this post-match reaction, we probably, depending on how many people I will do like a call in a Skype or something like that. We'll see just how many people are watching. But embarrassing. I don't know where to begin, to be honest, because the first half is what we expected. Trash. Um, Obviously Watford. I don't think Watford played particularly well in the first half. I think they were there to be got. They did cause us problems, but I don't really see any real quality from Watford in the first half. The only piece of quality in the first half was Jesse Lingard through on goal, one on one, decides to lob the keeper rather than doing the safe and composed option and put it to I would say bottom left. We're 1-0 up, and if we go 1-0 up, we carry some momentum, and Watford then have to sort of come out a bit, and then we can then counter attack, and then we can do what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seems to only want to do, which is countering football. Raymond Moore and Don Ragnar, a shout out. This is going to be a long post match reaction run. I know some people are going to go watch the Chelsea Spurs game, but I'm probably going to be here for quite some time trying to sort of get my head around what an absolute, as Don Ragnar says, fast that game was. Raymond Moore, what an embarrassment. We lost to freaking last place Watford. I agree. Like I said at the start of the stream, I was not naive in thinking that this was going to be an easy game, and I wonder whether the players thought that too. Because I watched the Liverpool game, and to be honest, Watford could have easily beaten Liverpool had they taken their chances like they did in this game. Watford could have easily beaten Liverpool. So I don't know whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whether the players thought, you know what, it's bottom league Watford, we're just going to go there, play the way that we played, and make a win, because that would have been a stupid mentality to go to with a new manager who actually played quite well against Liverpool had they done their homework, because I know I did. Um, but actually, um, looking at this game and how it planned out, the first 45 minutes, you're thinking, right, well, okay, even before I get into this game, Pogba actually came on at about, was it 68, 69 minutes in place of Lingard, who not unfortunately, was trash today. Lingard was trash today. Not just Lingard, I must confess, but he was trash. Um, if As I said at the start of this game, if Pogba was fit to make the bench, then for me, the best scenario would have been to start him to play for at least the first half, 60 minutes, whatever, and then bring him on. Pogba comes on in the last 30 minutes, 25 sort of minutes. Even a crooked Pogba still has an impact on this squad. With the passes, with the play, with the actually drawing players away from him, he did make a difference. I'll bet we were down 2-0. The fact that instead of taking the game to Watford, because essentially what happened in this game was as soon as Watford went in goal one, and this is the thing that surprised me about Watford, and it showed, unfortunately, Ole's tactical ineptitude, is that I assume Ole thought, and the players thought, you know what, Watford are 1-0 up, they're just going to sit back and defend their lead. That's not what Watford did. Watford could sense blood, and so they decided to counterattack us. They decided to go at us, decided to pressure us. So much so that up until probably the 80th minute, Watford could have been at least 3 or 4 up, but for the defensive prowess of Wan-Bissaka. And yes, I know Wan-Bissaka gave away the penalty. He was due a mistake this season. You know, I know people are going to get on the back of Wan-Bissaka. It was definitely a penalty. They're going to get on his back. But the reality is that, one, he has not been coached since he's come to United. Wan-Bissaka has not been coached, or there's not been any improvement in his coaching regarding him going forward. And two, because Dalot has been injured, he has been playing almost every single game with no rest, and yet has still been able to get some of his tackles in. I don't care what anyone says. If Ashley Young was playing in Wan-Bissaka's position today, we would have been 4-0 down. That's what would have been happening. It's a joke. Don Magner, the only highlight for me was when my grandma said, "Who's that badger?" when the camera focused on Ollie sunk in his chair. I think that's one way of describing him, to be honest. I'm curious. I've not watching the press conference, so I will let me know in the comments, guys, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says in his post-match conference or post-match whatever he does. Let me know, because I think the thing that I am not adverse to giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer time. But the thing that I want as a fan is I want to see that you acknowledge that there are problems. The problem that I see with Ole is anytime I see his press conferences is that it's spin positivity. That's almost as frustrating as Mourinho's negativity. Like, I got frustrated when Mourinho would always, call out players, always toxic. The environment was toxic, it was negative, and it was coming from him. But the opposite seems to be true of Ole's positivity, in that we lose 2-0, we have a terrible performance, and it's like, well, we were unlucky. Well, we should have taken no chances. Well, another day, we'll see what happens. What's wrong? It just happens. And you're like, could you stop being so laid back and just be angry at the fact that the performance was not good enough for Manchester United Football Club? If you can do that, then at least I'll give it a bit of respect after this game. If he comes out with the same nonsense of, we were unlucky, then you got to start saying, mate, just leave, please, just leave. Don Magner, the changes should have been made at half time. Don't need more time in the second half to see the sub wasn't working. I absolutely agree. I think Pogba should have come on for Lingard, and I think Greenwood should have come on for Daniel James. Or possibly you could have put Greenwood at number 9 for Martial. I don't know, but one of those changes, something had to change, and it didn't change. Or at the very least, allowing Fred to go. Well, Fred was going a bit forward, I guess a bit more, but yeah. Pogba was very good while on the pitch. Martial off the right offered more than Rashford. Rashford's ability is dependent on space, and he doesn't get that against smaller teams. I absolutely agree with that comment, 100%. Smash the like button if you're tuning into this video, please. It's going to be quite a long stream for everyone watching. I did post a FIFA stream prediction just before, obviously, the game, which actually had the prediction as 1-0 to Watford. I was hoping that wasn't going to be the case, but actually watching the game, and if you go back, and I implore you guys, actually go back and watch the FIFA 20 simulation I posted on this channel just before this video, and if you watch that game is actually not that dissimilar to the game that we in terms of the style of play, in terms of just how it worked out, aside from the fact that from the penalty, it's actually not that dissimilar, and it's scary the fact that FIFA could actually create and simulate what was essentially what I saw in the performance of Manchester United today. Poor, pedestrian, passing was woeful. And the final third, we couldn't break down. That's what I saw in the FIFA simulation, and it's what I saw for United today, and it's scary, because that's a video game. If a game can predict the Manchester United performance, then what does that tell us about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and the tactics that he's employing? Um, Raymond Moore, United can't break down teams that play deep defensively. But we've known this though. We've known this. We know this. We know this. And um, it's just getting. I mean, I don't even know how to respond here really, because it's just tiring. It's just tiring. I'm tired. I'm tired of watching and seeing the same old thing over and over again. We had an opportunity to basically be top four, by Christmas. We could have, if we beat Everton at home, if we beat Watford away, we're top four by Christmas. And instead of taking 6 points, like we took 6 points from Spurs and City, we only take 1 point from Everton at home and Watford away. Disgraceful. An absolute disgrace. And I'm going to call David De Gea into question here. I am, because because at Everton, yes, okay, you could argue he was fouled, but he should have done better with that punch. And again, here he also concedes this goal, and this happened again, and you know, again, crucial periods. This is the thing on the day, is just that, like, yes, he saves, it makes good saves and supporting the goalkeeper, but in the last two seasons, in crucial times when we've needed him, he's not delivered. He's not, and maybe I'm the only one in this, but for me, I think that people should give Romero a chance, because Romero, at least in his Europa League and League performances, has done he has done what's required of him. I can't remember Romero making an absolute howler in the games that he's played. So I feel that Romero should at least be given some game time, because David De Gea in key matches has cost us, and it's becoming a worrying pattern. Raymond Morgan, the whole team was poor, not just Lingard De Gea. No, I agree. I agree. But when I look at the game, when I look at the goals that we conceded, we essentially conceded from a poor goalkeeping error, because that's what the first goal was. The first goal should have been easily dealt with. It was an easily dealt with situation. It was a poor goalkeeping error, nothing more than that. The second one was a Wan-Bissaka foul, but if you actually look at the build up to that goal, we're frankly all over the place. Lindelof is out of position, and this happened quite a few times in the second half after we were 2-0 down. Was that there was no composure, there was no structure, there was nothing. We were essentially just all over the place chasing the game, trying to sort of counter, trying to get something in the game. And more often than not, Fred and Wan-Bissaka were basically because Fred and Wan-Bissaka have the pace, because Maguire and Lindelof don't. But Fred and Wan-Bissaka very often not were the last defenders having to come in and make the challenges. And as much as Wan-Bissaka did give away the penalty, I still count at least 5 or 6 last-ditch tackles that he did, that if he doesn't do those, the scoreline is a lot worse. It's... Oh, man, I don't know. Merry Christmas, Watford, is really is really all I can say. Merry Christmas, Watford FC, because, you know, oh, 8 people watching, like the vid, please like the vid. I, I don't know what to say, guys. This is the thing. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to. I don't know, because I was gonna make the graphic of this image Ollie out, or it's time to go, or something along those lines. But the reality is that, for whatever reason, the board are quite content with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the helm when they have their trust and hope in him. So me saying Ollie out, or me saying Ollie's going to go, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Even though we're having our worst start since 1986, and even though Mourinho was sacked even less. So unless there's something that we're not seeing in that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because apparently that the players, and I'll touch on this because I know I'm rambling all over the place, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer supposedly is not being sacked because the players, and Wedgwood was been to the players, and the players like him. The players feel like he's a good coach. They want him to stay. They appreciate what he does. So you need to then clarify if you want him to stay because you guys like him, then why are you not guys not showing? Why are the players not showing that on the pitch? Why are they not delivering on the field and saying, right, okay, we need to prove we want goes to stay. Let's prove. Let's fight for him. Not just in the games against Spurs and Man City, when pride is at stake, or against Liverpool, but in the smaller games we need to pick up points because United are almost turning into an Arsenal Liverpool in a sense of like, yes, challenge the top 6, 7, have a good game, a good fight, and then when we play the bottom teams, just completely capitulate. At the end of the day, there's 13, 14 other teams in the Premier League outside the top 6, and if you lose all those games, then it's irrelevant if you beat all the top 6 because anyone can get up for those big games. Where do United go from here? I don't know. I don't know. In my opinion, to be honest, um, to be honest, it should just be. It should just be. We should just end it now. Just terminate all his contract, and see if we can get a new manager in. The only thing I guess I would say is that the Glazers historically haven't done that. Well, they've done that with Mourinho, but with previous managers, they waited till at least closer towards the end of the season to make the decision. And there's also the fact that what manager is actually available, aside from Pochettino. Pochettino seems to be the only guy is available, and frankly, the best case scenario is that like Ole goes now and Pochettino comes in, or which is what I think is more likely to happen, is that Solskjaer will be given the team till the summer, and then Pochettino will come in. He says we need to give him time, but the reality is, it's like I said, I've got no problem in giving managers time, but I need to see an improvement. And I've yet to see an improvement from this Manchester side under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as after the last 3 months. We've not been on a run for ages, a winning run. Our win ratio is awful, our draw ratio is awful. And we have our worst run since 1986. So I would love it. I would really, really love. Sorry. Black Mamba 143 says they don't run, just lazy cunts. I disagree. Quite the opposite. I think they were running. They were running. They were running, but I think the issue is one, fitness. The fitness in United is bad. It's nowhere near as close as City or Liverpool's, even though we claim that we have good fitness coaches. Two, the running doesn't seem to serve a purpose. So in the first half, yes, I think we didn't put any pressure on, which was wrong. But even though we put pressure on Manchester United towards the end of, in the last probably 30 minutes, the running just didn't seem to serve any purpose whatsoever. It didn't. It just didn't. It was just, and again, as I said in the start of this, in my preview, actually, before the game, my main concern was that the front three, the composure, the lack of composure isn't there. So when the chips are down, when they need to take a touch, there's no composure. Lingard, no composure. Martial, no composure. Rashford, no composure. Fred, no. There's no composure in this team. Greenwood tried when he came on, but again, and likewise with Pogba, but again, it just wasn't enough. Raymond Moore, yes, Ray Don Ragnar. Ollie relies on defense and the two DMs to nullify the opponent's attack and just hopes individual ability in the counter attack leads to goal. He's not coaching players to create patterns of play. I absolutely agree with that. In fact, I don't know if he's coaching players because of the players that have come to United that he's brought in, how many of them can you say have improved? Has Wan-Bissaka improved? Has Maguire improved? Has Daniel James improved? They all brought their own ability to the club, but I don't think you could say that any one of those players actually improved. An improvement on Wan-Bissaka would have been the ability to go forward better. That's not improved. Harry Maguire, if anything, Harry Maguire's regressed because how many clean sheets have he kept? How many goals did he score from his head? He had one sitter, I think, and it went straight to the keeper. And Daniel James just seems to have stalled. So what can you say? Raymond Moore, I have no idea what tactics was Ole using out there. Players just kept passing. Black Mamba for 143, just getting paid to lose. They don't deserve to beat United. Um, do we blame the players? I don't know. Keep your comments coming in. By the way, keep your comments in. Um, I, I, I don't want to solely blame the players. Because at the end of the day, when you have this pattern of play, that comes from the top. So we can't keep on saying it's the players, it's the players. Well, it is the players in one sense, but in the other sense, the fact that it's so predictable now, the fact that like I know if United go away to Burnley, because let's remember, guys, United have Burnley and Newcastle. I think Newcastle at home and Burnley away next. So I can already predict what's going to happen in those games to Newcastle. Newcastle will come to Old Trafford. They will sit back. They will wait. They will stifle Manchester United. It will be 0-0. And then either United will nick a goal. It'll be 1-0. And then they drop back and allow Newcastle to come at them and concede. Or Newcastle get a goal first. They drop back. We can't break them down. They win the game. That's basically how Manchester United matches work. Unless by a bit of fluke that the team is open or very open from the very beginning, in which case that gives us a chance. Generally speaking, your Newcastles and your Burnleys for playing are not going to be like that. And I suspect that they'll win because they have big physical players as well that will bully our centre-backs and bully our midfield and cause us problems. So if I'm honest, I'm concerned because this is probably the beginning of the next two. We might be Arsenal. I don't know whether they'll get Arteta on budge, but I would not be surprised if we lost to Newcastle or Burnley away because of how they play and how we play and how tactically inept, unfortunately, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. Um, Black Mamba, running off the ball is the key to winning. If coach still playing Lingard, then he's stupid. Maguire was terrible. He can't even pass the ball. I agree with both of those comments. I'm not entirely sure. Well, like I said, I've said, and I hope from the next game that Pogba will start ahead of Lingard in that position because Pogba was able to bring a bit more. And I think it was a shame that it was brought into a game when we were chasing a 2-0 game. I think that was wrong. Don Ragnar, notice how the long passes and 1-2s that Pogba created made space for Shaw, Marshall, and Rashford to run into. I absolutely did. It shows that we need midfielders more than her. I absolutely did. When Pogba came on, I looked and saw this is exactly what we've been missing. And it's exactly true that we actually need to get a creative / attacking midfielder in the transfer window. The fact that we're linked with Haaland, for me, even though yes, a Haaland would be great if Martial gets injured or what have you, but is that the type of player that we need right now? Is that the player that we need? No, it's not. Freddie McTominay can deputise as a holding midfielder if needs be, but what we need is a creative, attacking midfield player. That is what we need. CAM, creative attacking midfielder. That is what we need at this club. Pogba, I wouldn't even argue, is even that per se, but he can do a role there. But that is actually what we need at Manchester United Football Club, and that is what should be a priority in January, let alone a summer. It should have been a priority last summer, and we didn't get it. So we can't just rely on Pogba because what happens if Pogba pulls his hamstring again? Then what? We can't rely on players that have been injured for a while. So see, that shouldn't be at Manchester United to have enough money or should have enough money in order to have a big enough squad to compensate for injury losses. Okay, if we don't have that, then we should fix that by getting more signings, not complaining about when players get injured or not. Uh, Don Raga, Haaland will not change anything. I agree with that. Charlie Mamo, shout out, mate. Shout out. Manchester United play rubbish. We do right now. I agree with that comment. I do agree. Raymond Moore, United just good at keeping possession. First half, they teach Watford how to pass in possession. Who cares about possession if you can win? Well, the reality is that in the games that we've lost, in the majority of the games that we've lost, we've had the majority of possession, Raymond. So it doesn't even mean anything because in the games that we've lost this season, we've had the majority of possession. So, which essentially tells me that you have the ball, but you're not able to do anything with it. You're not able to create anything, which is essentially the sum of this whole, essentially since Ollie, since the beginning of the season, is that we can hold on to the ball fine. but we can't create chances, and we can't do anything with such chances, and that is why you need a creative attacking midfielder to help you create chances, and we don't have the players to do that. Pogba in that position is probably the only player that can do that because Lingard and Pereira can't do that role. They can't at all. Um, uh, Black Mamba, a quick moment, yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know. I say I'm bringing this post project to an end because I just don't know. I'm just still stunned by what was such an abject and pitiful performance by Manchester United. It was such a pitiful performance by Manchester United, and it was a big, rather than like a big Merry Christmas, it was a big kick in the balls for United fans, because you're wanting at least to go into Christmas with a nice win, and instead we gift wrapped the Christmas present and delivered it to Vicarage Road, and Ollie said, here you go, Watford fans, here's a 2-0 win, Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys stay up, because that's what that performance was. It was a Christmas cheer performance there and then, and it was and it was woeful. It was woeful. And if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't on the threat of being sacked after that performance, I don't know what is. Because it's not just, and I'll end here. It's not just the fact that we lost 2-0, and that's not what frustrates me. You can lose 2-0 matches to people like, it's not on. City lost 2-0 to Wolves. I don't think that City are gonna just go and sack Pep Guardiola. So it happens. Um, but it's the manner in which this happens it's the pattern, it's the style, it's the repetition, it's the fact that I don't see any difference in the way we played today, and then we played against Everton, only by the fact that poor Pogba basically came back and made a difference. But actually, I've not seen any difference in the way that we played to Watford, that we played to Newcastle. Sorry, that we played to Everton. I can't see a difference at all. And what's concerning me, as I said, is that in the next two games we have Burnley and we have Newcastle. We have two teams that even more so, because I think Watford actually gave us a bit of space in the first half, a lot more space than maybe a Newcastle or Burnley are going to give, because Newcastle and Burnley are not going to give any space whatsoever. And if that's the case, we could be seeing from 4 games only 1 point, which is relegation form. And that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable by the players. It's not acceptable by the board. It's not acceptable by Ollie. And something needs to change quickly. Black Mamba. Don't we have midfielders from under 23s team? Well, we have Gomez, but he hasn't signed a contract. We have Ghana. But I mean, again, we're Manchester United Football Club. Why is it that we're relying on under 23 talent to try and bail us out of a 2-0 situation at Vicarage Road? Send them out on loan to get experience to sort of to progress. But why are we going to rely on onto when we have so much money and resources, and we have players that play in those positions that should be at least be coachable? Why is that we have to rely on under 20 fees? It just doesn't make sense. Raymond Moore, if Ollie wants to be kept, then the coaching staff needs to be replaced. Our players need proper training. Something needs to change at least. I agree. Because as I said, I cannot see a single player in this squad that has improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If anything, players have regressed. De Gea has regressed now. I think Harry Maguire has actually regressed from his time at Leicester, but we'll still see. There's still time. You know, Rashford, Pogba, Martial, or just either the same or maybe slight regression. It's concerning. Black Man, but I hope we get relegated so we come back stronger, mate. I don't. Well, one, I don't think that's going to happen. Two, I don't wish any ill will on our club. Because I want us to win games, I want us to win trophies, etc. But I understand the sentiment behind that post. In that, maybe United will start to take things seriously if that happens. We'll see. We'll see. Don Magna Gomez is leaving when we needed a player just like him in number 10. When he does well at Barca, Ollie in fanboys will make up essentially excuses about his attitude. I agree. Well, people are making it. This is the funny thing, and talking about Gomez gives a similar thing with Pogba, is that you're having people saying Pogba must go, Pogba must go, Pogba's not head's not in the right place, Pogba is this, Pogba is that, and yet once again he comes on and is our most creative player. So in my mind, I'm like, you want Pogba gone? Okay, well the board have given us no indication that they're going to bring any. In fact, even in January, or someone, there's been no indication from the board that they're saying we're going to go out and sign another creative midfielder. They haven't given us that indication at all. So if they were going to sell Paul Pogba, then that would be a travesty because we essentially have no midfielder, let alone create midfielder. I don't think Ollie would be particularly happy, or at least he shouldn't be happy. Black Mamba, just like 76 when we beat Liverpool 2-1 FA Cup final dime double. Charming, I watch them every game. They make me sick how they play with lower teams. It's getting very, very painful to watch. I definitely agree with you. Um, and Dr. Black Mamba, watching this team would raise high blood pressure. I agree. Everyone. I agree. It was an awful game. It was very, very disappointing for Manchester United, and Ollie is in really, really serious bother now. He really, really is. Thanks to watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio and follow us on Twitter, United X. I'm very apathetic now. I'm tired. I'm gonna lie down. I'm just so not. I'm just so over this. I'm just gonna enjoy my Christmas period now because this team is. I don't have any expectation or hope that this team will turn things around with the way that things currently are because I know for a fact that we'll slip up to smaller teams and just nothing will change unless there's some shake up at this football club. Like I said, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Hopefully at about 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight, I'll be doing a call-in or a live stream call-in where we're going to be dissecting this a bit more and just say what's wrong with Manchester United. So stay tuned for that. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and smash the notification button for the latest Manchester United news. All the best, guys, and cheers.